do you think is going to really get them out this fall?
Well, I think it's going to be abortion. I think it's going to be democracy. It's those two issues. And
Same
that's
issues from 2022.
Absolutely. And that's what the president and his campaign are banking on.
I agree, actually. I agree that they're going to bank on that, and I agree it may help them. That doesn't change my mind on the issue even one little bit, though. Joining me now, Abby Johnson, author of the book Life to the Full. Abby, okay, I'm not naive. I understand that Democrats think, and probably rightly so, that at this point in time, abortion is a winner for them to campaign on. They've told women for decades that they should be able to just kill whatever they want, and a lot of women are being raised that way. I know that, but that doesn't sway me, should it?
No, I mean, you're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the Democratic Party came out and said sex trafficking is fine, right? It's wrong. It's still wrong. It doesn't matter if they came out and said, we decided spousal abuse is fine. No, spousal abuse is not okay, right? Just because someone or a whole group of someone's says that something is okay does not mean it's morally acceptable, right? And so we have to be the group of people who are shouting from the rooftops, this is not okay. But part of it, though, is that we have to educate ourselves, right? And we have to then be passing on that education to the public. Because it's just like you said, we have an entire generation of women, particularly young women, who have been raised to all they know is that abortion has been legal for them. And because of that, it's kind of been acceptable in our society. So for me, it's all about going back to the basics. What is actually in your womb? Is it alive? Does it have a heartbeat? Is it growing? Yes, yes, yes. And if all those things are true, then that's a living human being that deserves dignity and respect. It has intrinsic value. And because those things are true, to intentionally take its life is murder. And those are the things that we have to start teaching people at a young age.
Abby, I am not a woman, obviously. I don't have enough hair. I am not a woman. Can you explain, more from a female perspective, why young women would find that appealing, abortion appealing? I find it, and I've always found it to be so, even before I was politically involved, so repugnant. And most of the women I know, almost all of them, are such loving mothers who would lay down in traffic for their babies without a second of hesitation. And yet these young women, I don't want to say they love it. That's not probably fair for most of them, but they really, really are passionate about being allowed to do it. And I don't understand it at all. Can you explain it to an idiot like me?
Well, you're not an idiot. It's just, look, nobody wants to say the truth, okay? And I'm going to tell you the truth. Most of the women having abortions today are doing so out of selfishness. They're not doing it out of ignorance. They're not doing it because they're just victims to the society. They're not doing it because they're victims at all. They're not doing it because they're scared. They're doing it out of selfishness. Look, I run a hotline for women who are pregnant and need assistance. And I can't tell you the amount of phone calls we get from women who say, the reason I don't want to have a baby is because I don't want to screw up my body. I don't want to have a baby because I've got plans for spring break and I want to get drunk the whole time. And I can't get drunk if I'm pregnant. There is just this selfishness that is so pervasive in our society right now. And it's so bad that we're willing to kill for it.
God have mercy. My goodness. I'm sad I asked. No, I'm glad you answered. I'm sad I asked. By the way, if you wouldn't mind, would you give out the number for that hotline for any young lady who might be thinking about making that choice right now, please?
Yeah. So if people just want to go to our website, it's loveline.com. You can go directly to our chat line from loveline.com. You can text us, you can call, you can email us. We're available all the time and we'll get back to you immediately.
Okay, Abby, let's switch gears to something almost equally horrible. 9 pro-lifers found guilty of violating the FACE Act, 11 years in prison. What is this ridiculousness? What's happening out here?
Yeah, I mean, look, the DOJ is, obviously out of control. Look what they did to, Mark Hoke. That was like a year ago. They show up to his home, guns pointed at him and his wife and his children, threatening to, send him to prison. The DOJ has been weaponized. FBI has been weaponized. Obviously, very much against the pro-life movement, very much against pro-lifers. Look what's happened to all of these, people that were involved in the January 6th ordeal. And then you kind of compare that to what happened with the BLM riots. People that almost killed police officers are still, free as birds. Nothing happened to them. So we see who is being really persecuted and who isn't. Obviously, Biden and his DOJ very much opposed to pro-life activism. And we're seeing it play out here. But I don't want anybody to think that this is a reason not to continue pro-life activism. These 9 activists, they knew what they were doing, right? And they took a risk. They, intentionally blocked the door of an abortion facility. They are intentionally trying to basically provoke the FACE Act, right? Because what we're looking at now is saying, okay, the FACE Act is an unjust law. And so they're wanting to now look at reasons to undo the FACE Act. And so this is a way for them to challenge the FACE Act, and to say this is an unfair law. Going out and simply praying, giving out information to women in front of an abortion facility is not going to get you thrown in jail. Okay. These 9 activists, they knew what they were doing. They knew that going to prison was a possibility, and they made that choice intentionally. Now we are kind of looking at this from a different angle and saying, okay, now this puts us in a position to really go after the FACE Act and say, look, we're out here trying to defend murder. We're out here saying that these abortionists are murdering babies. They're murdering human beings. We should be allowed to protest that. If they were murdering 4-year-olds, it would be acceptable for us by any means possible to stop the murder of a 4-year-old. Why is murder acceptable just because it's a child in the womb?
Amen. Abby, keep doing what you do. I appreciate you.
For too long, we've been led to believe that communism is a thing of the past. But the truth is, communism is alive. It's here, and it's infiltrating every aspect of American life. Introducing the Anti-Communist Manifesto by Jesse Kelly, the practical guide for patriots ready to defend our nation from its most dangerous enemy. Discover the shocking extent of communist infiltration in our education system, their alliance with American corporations, and the twisted truth behind environmentalism. This eye-opening book exposes the true face of communism and empowers you to fight back. Join the fight for freedom. Pre-order your copy of the Anti-Communist Manifesto today by going to jessekelleybook.com.